Alright, here we are back for our first match with Grixis Metalcraft. I'm gonna play first. We're gonna keep. Sand's not great. It's really slow, but at the very worst, we can use the Mole Drifter as a divination. We can possibly use the Thoughtcast as a divination on turn 3. The fact of the matter is we don't have any black mana at the moment, but I am hopeful that that will actually change. Barrenmore. Not sure exactly what that means yet. um. I'm trying to wonder. I think I'm just gonna play out the Rakdos Carnarium. The reason for that is if I draw a Chainer's Edict, or if I draw a Terminate, I want to be able to use it if I need to. Looks like we're up against mono black control. Not the best matchup, but certainly not the worst matchup. The reason why it's not the best matchup is it really just depends on the draw that they have. Game 1 is in your favor because they have a lot of dead cards, so that's always good for you. I don't really think I need to draw any cards right now, so I'm just going to play out the Swiftwater Cliffs again and pass. And they were going to do something on turn 2, but they chose not to. I'm going to guess it was a Sign in Blood, because if they had a Kumbaj Witches, they probably would have done it. Okay, never mind. Maybe they're keeping up this figure, I guess. What do I know? A Firebolt. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't really deal with Kumbaj Witches, but it's pretty good nonetheless to deal with other things. So I guess I could play Thoughtcast. Just tap out real quick. And I'll have to discard a card, but I don't think that's going to merely make a difference. I think I want to discard the Ace of Boilerworks. Now that might seem stupid to a lot of you, but I don't really need it right now. And I kind of want the Metalcraft to turn on Galvanic Blast and Bleed Coven Vampires later on. I also kind of want more black and red mana than I want blue. I have double blue already for the counterspell if I need it, so it doesn't really make a difference. Ooh, that's a nice looking swamp. Okay, so there is the Sign in Blood. Oh, they might have. I guess they could have drawn the Kumbaj, which is, I guess that is also something that could reasonably have happened. Alright, so I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm going to keep up counterspell for a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. And this way, if I draw another Sea of the Synod or just another blue source, I can go Mole Drifter with counterspell backup. I want to get value off of my counterspell. I could also go Bleak Coven Vampires with counterspell backup, so that will also be good. Probably in for the long haul here. Okay. Well, Friction Ranger I don't care about because I can just Firebolt it, so it's not really an issue. That's not a bad draw. So we'll go Prism first. To Demir Aqueduct. Don't really need that at the moment. But we'll go ahead and Firebolt the crap out of this guy. Undying Evil. Sadly enough, I have to counter that. That's a shame. It's not exactly where I wanted to use my counterspell, but kind of have to. Looks like this guy is innovating a bit. Alright, well, we'll take one, I suppose. Pretty happy this guy's actually attacking me. Because multiple times throughout playing Pauper, I've played against people who have played Kumbaj Witches, and they just for some reason never attack me. They just leave it up. And I have no idea what the purpose of that is. Well, that was a big turn. A Ghostly Flicker, you say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, unfortunately. So I guess I will just go Mole Drifter and use Ghostly Flicker to draw 4 cards. And actually draw 7 cards, I should say, because I'm not going to gain life. To draw all the cards in the world. And then I think I'd rather go Great Furnace and leave up Galvanic Blast. Probably just going to discard this Dimir Aqueduct. I'd rather have my lands come into play untapped for right now. And I don't really want to discard the Prophetic Prism because I'm going to need more colors. I don't really want to discard more threats either. It's very possible that, oh, okay. Well, that's good for me to know because of Bleakcomb Vampires. It's entirely possible also that, alright, I'm just gonna kill this now. Hopefully they don't have an Undying Evil. I should have actually went to kill the Combage Witches in that case. No, I guess it doesn't make a difference. If I find out that they're playing Akiba against Shinobi, I'm gonna get really, really ticked off. Okay, good. It's only game one, man. Fume Spitter. Oh, this is a very old school version of Mono Black. I haven't seen this type of Mono Black in a long time. A very cool version of Mono Black, though. And a Sign of Blood. Well, congratulations. Jeez. How much stuff do you have? My god. Do you ever brick, man? Alright, that's not terrible. So, we have 4. We have 8 mana to work with. Well, I guess so I could Firebolt and then use Chainer's Edict. I could play Mole Drifter and then Chainer's Edict. I could terminate Chainer's Edict and Prophetic Prism, and then possibly draw another 1 mana removal spell. I kind of want to get all these expensive cards out of my hand, but I don't really have time. I guess I'm better off going Prism. The reason for that is if I draw Counterspell for Grey Merchant, I want it. Okay, of course that didn't really work out in my favor. Well, we'll just go Chainer's Edict now. Doesn't really matter how I tap. They'll just sack the Fume Spitter anyway. And then we can just hold up Terminate. I don't actually need to use it yet. So one problem I'm having with this deck is a lot of your spells are a little too expensive playing Bleakcomb Vampires and Mole Drifter. I can already tell you. Okay, so they didn't play a Grey Merchant of Asphodel yet. If they have another Unearth, I'm going to be really upset. That's neither here nor there. Next turn, at least we'll have 9 mana. Another Sign of Blood. Man, my opponent is not bricked at all. They've drawn all their cards in, like, perfect sequential order. Crypt Rats, okay. I guess that's fair. It's also very possible that this deck should play main deck Swirling Sandstorm. Because I can already see that this deck has a bit of a problem with swarming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, unfortunately. I think my best option excuse me, is to evoke Mole Drifter and then Firebolt the Crypt Rats. I think that's probably my best option. Winning this game is going to be a bit difficult. I'm going to need to draw a bunch of removal spells in a row and have my opponent brick for like a turn. Which doesn't really seem to be happening too much in my favor. This also allows me to put the Dismal Backwater into play. So it allows me kind of to curve out. See, the thing about having Peregrine Drake back in the day was that... yeah, we will take one. I'm going to gain the life back. Sucker. The point of this deck, why it was so good back in the day, was because you had the Peregrine Drake combo, so you could play slow. Okay, well that's a shame. Mostly just a shame because of the fact that now I don't have a Ghostly Flicker in the graveyard, which is unfortunate, but neither here nor there. Alright, so I think this turn I just want to get out both Bleakcomb Vampires and gain 8 life. And hopefully they don't both get removed, because that would suck. That would suck a lot. Just gonna point it out. Oh, actually, I win next turn. Unless this is a Tendrils, which would suck. I just noticed I win next turn with the Galvanic Blast. Oh, that's pretty funny. I didn't even notice. I didn't notice how much below life total my opponent was at. Alright, so put them to 1. Now they can never use Combodge Witches. And unless they have a Grey Merchant of Asphodel or Tendrils, and I win the game next turn, but they don't know that. They do not know that at the moment. They haven't had a Grey Merchant, so... Alright. They're attacking with everything. Alright, I'm just gonna take it. I mean, I have a 2-1, and they're at 1. I have no reason to attack. Really? What just happened? Alright. No complaint from me. So against Mono Black control, Swirling Sandstorm is a good idea. Because... Well, as you saw, they're going to swarm. Edict effects are not going to be great if they might have Fume Spitter in their deck. And also, they can just keep sacking Combodge Witches, because Combodge Witches don't really do crap. So we're just going to swap those. And I could bring in Dispel to stop things like Geth's Verdict, or... Wait, you know what I just noticed? They went through the top half of their deck and never saw Grey Merchant. I am so lucky. That's not really the point. So I could swap like a counterspell for a Dispel, merely because if you want to counter Tendrils or you want to counter, you know, Grim Harvest or anything of that nature. But the fact of the matter is, counterspell is just more versatile, so I don't really think that's a good idea. This is a matchup where Thorn of the Black Rose isn't great because of Combodge Witches being a 1/3 and Firebolt doesn't kill it, but I still think it's worth keeping in there. I'm gonna submit. If we go to a third game, I guess we could see if my opponent keeps in Combodge Witches, because if they don't, I can then worry about... I'm gonna keep this in. Worry about bringing in, whatchamacallit. Right, let's pass the turn. So, one card... Oh, worry about bring back in Chander's Edict is what I was going to finish my thought with. Alright, so they did keep in, like, Combodge Witches and stuff, which is a good thing to know. We need the blue mana, so we're just going to put that in my hand. As far as what to discard, we're going to discard the Ghostly Flicker. If we lose it to a random Bajuka Bog, that sucks, but happens. Take one. So, yeah, the card that I was thinking about to add to this deck was Prismatic Lens. I think Prismatic Lens is probably like right up this deck's alley because it ramps and also color fixes. So I think that's probably somewhere where I want to be. I think we need to draw cards pretty desperately right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and evoke this Mole Drifter. We're gonna have to discard a card, but I can just discard this Mountain since I don't really need it all that badly. Alright, I think I want to discard this Swamp, actually. I could just discard the Thoughtcast. Yeah, actually, I think I'm just going to discard the Thoughtcast. I think having the untapped mana is probably better. As much as that pains me to say. Next turn, I can go Thoughtcast at least and draw a couple of cards if I want to. And a Crypt Rats. Okay. And no fourth land. I like that. I like that, too. Alright, so let's go ahead and kill the Crypt Rats since I can't kill the Combodge Witches, and I'm far away from actually doing, you know, that stuff anyway. And then we'll just get the Rakdos Cornarium down to curve out, and just pass the turn. Good thing also is now I can go Thoughtcast, draw a 1 mana removal spell, and then get there. And my opponent forgot to attack. Or they click too fast, that's fine. Oh, excuse me. I am happy with that. Polluted Mire. Well, it's not bad. Still, though, I'm just going to go Thoughtcast here. And we drew a Firebolt, unfortunately. Since Firebolt doesn't really kill the Combodge Witches. So, can't even cast Prophetic Prism, damn. Alright, well, I'm going to discard the Swamp. And we're at 6 cards, so next turn I can go Swirling Sandstorm if I want to, because I can put Firebolt in the grave. I guess Firebolt is kind of Fire Blast, since for 6 mana you deal 4 damage. but, you know. Alright, no keeping a Shinobi. I noticed that they went land number 4, so... Ooh, nothing. Alright. Ooh, a Mole Drifter. So... I think what I want to do is I just want to play this Prophetic Prism for right now and see what I draw. Just to get that out there. The second Mnemonic Wall. That really didn't do anything for me, did it? I guess I could play the Polluted Mire, but that doesn't really do anything. Except it just allows me to have, like, untapped mana. I don't really need untapped mana. Okay, that kid outside does not sound happy. I guess I could just evoke Mole Drifter and draw a couple of cards. That's also possible. Yeah, I guess I kind of need more artifacts. So let's just evoke this Mole Drifter, since I can get it back with Polluted Mire anyway if I so choose. Let's see what I draw. Alright, well, drew a Dimir Aqueduct, so I guess that's better. But I think I want to play the Great Furnace to have Metalcraft or Bleak Coven. And then I can discard this mountain since I don't really need it anymore, which is good. The reason why I don't want to discard the Mnemonic Walls is because as expensive as they are, they're actually very convenient. They're actually very important because they can keep returning Swirling Sandstorm. So I'm going to take one, unfortunately, but then next turn I'm going to play the Bleak Coven Vampires. You don't really want to play Mnemonic Wall until way later. Especially because the main card I want to return with it right now is Swirling Sandstorm, so... Okay, so they cycled the Barrenmoor and then I guess drew a land? Alright. So let's go ahead and pop this little guy out. Gain 4 life. Hopefully they just kill it, they don't unmake it, so I can get it back at some point in my life. Alright. Hit you for 4. I'll go back to 20. Let's just go ahead and swap life totals real quick. Looks like a guess verdict. Yep. Okay. Guess we're not quite swapping lifing totals. Lifing totals, yeah. Nah. I'm just going to stick with that. And then... guess we'll just play this Aqueduct and return the tapped Great Furnace and pass the turn. 6, 7, 8 mana next turn I'll have available to me. So I can theoretically return the Mnemonic... I can play Mnemonic Wall and return Ghostly Flicker, but I think I'm more than likely to just go Mnemonic Wall and return Thoughtcast just to draw a couple of cards. Since I have the second Mnemonic Wall plus the Polluted Mire anyway. Okay, how about we just draw Thoughtcast? That works too. So let's use this to draw a couple of cards. Drew a Galvanic Blast. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and Galvanic Blast this now. And then we'll go ahead and play the Bloodfall Caves, gain a life. Undying Evil. Sure. You got it. I'm not unhappy about that. Oh, I already played a land? Fair enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and play Mnemonic Wall. And, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. It's actually not a bad day outside, so I have my windows open. So you can get back Galvanic Blast to kill the Kambaj Witches again. We can get back Ghostly Flicker, which is, I think, what I want to do. Because then next turn that sets me up with Mnemonic Wall plus Ghostly Flicker anyway. And also allows me to cantrip. It's, I think, more versatile than whatchamacallit, Thoughtcast, so I might even next turn just use Firebolt just to kill this stupid Kambaj Witches. Looks like my opponent's just flooded on removal at the moment, so that's going to be a little bit hard to navigate through, but It shouldn't be too bad. Alright, well there's a Rager, so now I'll just use Swirling Sandstorm. Another Firebolt. Okay. I think I still just want to go Swirling Sandstorm. Then I'm gonna go Polluted Mire and get back Mole Drifter. Hopefully they don't have Undying Evil. Okay, good. I mean, they could, but they didn't have it right there, so... Alright, we'll put Mole Drifter back on top of my deck. Yes, and then pass the turn. Theoretically, I could just burn my opponent out. I mean, I could just Mnemonic Wall, get back Galvanic Blast, and then I have 12 damage. Which is pretty funny. So next turn I'll have, at the moment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. No! Son of a bee! Well, there goes my second Mnemonic Wall. Oh, that sucks. And one of my Bleakcomb Vampires. God dang it. Oh well. That was bound to happen anyway, I guess. Alright. That's fine for now. I got Firebolts for days. Sign in Blood? Yep, Sign in Blood. Drew the Mole Drifter. Oh my god, I got so lucky. I top decked the best card. So, 1, 2, 3, and I guess 4, 5, since I have all the colors I need. Nah, let's keep that up in case I draw Terminate. Mole Drifter, go. Counterspell. Guess that's a reason to leave up double blue. I know it now, isn't it? Alright, let's go ahead and Firebolt. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have Undying Evil again. They didn't. Good. Gain a life. And pass the turn. The good thing about this deck also is that against something like the Burn matchup, you can just gain as much life as you possibly need to with Ghostly Flicker, a Gain Life land, and Mnemonic Wall. So do keep that in mind. Alright, well we're going to use Ghostly Flicker now to just draw 3 cards. Grasp of Darkness. Man, this is a real old school list. Drew 3 lands. That makes me feel good. I think I'm just going to pitch away the Volt. Because I think having the red mana is more useful. I like having the Gain Life land, and I think the second... I think this untapped blue is probably really good with the counterspell, so... I saw a red card, and I was like, what? Doomblade, okay. Alright, just in case they have a Duress, I'm going to put the counterspell on top. For whatever reason. The good thing is Wrench Mine sucks against you because you play all these artifacts. So, like, that play doesn't even work. It looks like we're starting to grind out my opponent a bit. They only have 2 cards in hand. We now have a counterspell up. And I can go Firebolt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'd rather just leave up counterspell. And just pass the turn. Because then next turn I can go Mnemonic Wall, get back Ghostly Flicker, and then I can use Polluted Mire over and over again if I want to. Sign in Blood again? What the hell? Okay. Doesn't die to Swirling Sandstorm, which is funny enough. But okay, fair enough. Interesting list. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 9, 10, 11 mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, I'm just not going to kill this Volt Scourge. I don't think there's a reason to, so... We're just going to play this guy. Get back Ghostly Flicker. Hopefully. Yep. Opponent's going to try something in response. Tendrils? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. So let's go ahead and blue. Counterspell it. Yep. And then let's put this Swiftwater Cliffs into play. And we'll just go ahead and pass the turn. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna firebolt this. I really don't think there's a reason, and I'd rather just keep the firebolt in my hand. It's annoying that he's gonna gain like little increments of life now, so the burn plan is not gonna work out for a little bit, but I don't really think that's gonna make too much of a difference. Okay, opponent's not playing anything. It's neither good nor bad. Ooh, that's good, however. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, I can firebolt this. I can play Bleak Common Vampires. And 5. That's not 5. This is 5. I can drain my opponent. I can leave up Ghostly Flicker twice, and I can bluff Counterspell at the same time. Opponent didn't do anything, so that's good for me. And, well, it looks like my opponent's going to be dead soon. Oh, even drew Galvanic Blast as insurance. Let's go ahead and attack for 4. Oh boy. Rough day. Rough day. Alright, let's firebolt them to 3. And now I have Galvanic Blast or Ghostly Flicker up to kill my opponent. But I'm just going to say go so that they have to react first if they have a Tendrils of Corruption in their hand. Chittering Rat, sure. Swirling Sandstorm, go to the top of my deck. Oops. Oh, well, actually I kind of want that to be smaller. And it looks like they're just F6ing, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this first, and win the game. Sweet. So far I can already see that there are some faults with the deck list. It has way too many expensive spells, which if I was up against a faster deck, I would have fallen way too far behind way too quickly. Some cards I'm already thinking about are like Prismatic Lens, to ramp. If you guys don't know what Prismatic Lens is, I'll just show you right now. I don't remember how to spell it. This is Prismatic Lens. It's pretty good. It's, instead of cantripping, it just ramps you instead, if you needed to. And that's probably a good thing. You could also play the Signets, which are probably better, because they're probably better color fixing. So that's definitely something to think about. You could probably shave a couple of removal spells, but we still have one more test match to go through, so we'll see how I feel after it. And, yeah, alright. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching this one.